regular meeting into session for Wednesday, January the 10th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Okay. Heyman.
Okay, we'll read the mission statement.
Yep.
Logansport Parks and Recreation is committed to improving the quality of life for Logan land residents by preserving land, facilities, the environment, and our natural heritage, and by creating significant opportunities for recreation, conservation, relaxation, and education for now and future generations.
Okay. You all got a copy of the minutes from our December meeting? You all had a chance to take a look. Sam, are you okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
You keep breaking in and out. That's why I was wondering. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
You're fine. You all got a chance to look at them. Is there any additions or subtractions that need to be made? With there being none, we will move on. Park Board Organization, takeover, Dan.
Well, this is the time. Well, I guess first of all, I want to be sure it's clear that Sam Taco is on the phone, and Jason Crittenden is also on the phone. So we have a full complement of our park board today. So anyway, so the first thing we need to do this year is nominate officers for the Parks Board. And so I will take those nominations from you guys. You need to say.
I nominate Dave Smith for president. Do I do it all together or one?
Yeah, let's do it all
Okay,
together.
I'll nominate and Jason Crittenden for vice president and Eamon for secretary. So I don't butcher your last name.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is that from Ammon?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Jason?
Yep.
You agree?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, aye. Okay, so there's the
Okay, do
officers
we have
for
to
the,
vote on it now? That was the vote. Oh, no, you did vote. Okay,
We did
all right.
vote on it.
Okay, all right. So take over.
that's for the officers for the 2024 year. Committees, we're going to add a committee at the bottom once I get through this, but last year, finance was Mike McCord and Dave Smith. Golf was Sam Taco and Dave Smith. Park Development, Eamon and Jason. Personnel, Dave and Jason. Aquatics, Sam Taco and Mike McCord. Christmas in the Park, Mike McCord and Dave Smith. We are going to add a Spencer Park Pavilion Committee on this as well, with the pavilion at Spencer Park being such a hot ticket item, no matter what corner of the city you want to be in. I talked to Jan today, and I think it's important we have a committee to work with everybody, excuse me, everybody involved to get this done the way it needs to get done. And on that, I told Jan today that being that it would be Mike and I, a lot of the reason of that is that anytime during the day that if we would need to meet with somebody, with us both being available during the day, we could do that. So those are the committees. I want to leave them the same as we had them last year. Is anybody on this board in disagreement with that?
No.
Fine.
So, and do I have a motion to accept the committees?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It was
Jason, Dan,
Jason.
Eamon, so take your choice.
And well, Sam too. So it was
We
a
took
pretty tough.
3 seconds.
It didn't matter.
That's 3 seconds.
I'm going to give that to
Haven't seen
Sam.
that long.
So, okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, we're set for the upcoming year. Old business, Jeremy?
You guys have this in your folders there,
Oh,
the proposal and the plans.
Jeremy Duff, KJG Architecture and Engineering, West Lafayette. We were part of a group submitting, there was an RFQ put out last year for a design and construction team to look into what it would take to stabilize, and I use the word restore, not necessarily architecturally, but actually restore the Winter Park Pavilion structure to a safe use. This, I guess, stepping back, our firm had done a structural analysis on it previously and determined that there were some obvious repairs and even some members that looked okay but weren't up to capacity to safely resist wind and snow loads particularly. So KJG Architecture in combination with Steinberger Construction submitted to that RFQ last year to handle the design and the construction, and were awarded that project. That obviously, there was an amount established, $100,000 at that time, and then we set to work determining what those reinforcements needed to be and getting bids. So we got the drawings done. I've got copies of those. Happy to go into detail about that if you'd like. But essentially, we finally just received the total quote for the construction from Steinberger, who obviously here is local. They are planning on handling some of the steel portions themselves, and then they have subcontracted Shepler Construction, also locally here, to handle the wood portions. So good that we have two local contractors running the project. The bad news is the total amount of the total project design construction is coming in at $160,000 even. So to move forward as designed, there would need to be an additional $60,000 approved. Possible options, and there's an alternative to that, depending on your schedule of moving forward. There was difficulty, I know, in the latter part of the year getting interest. Steinberger solicited other contractors in addition to Shepler, and Shepler was the only one who expressed interest availability in providing a quote for the wood portion. So given some additional time, Steinberger could go back out to the market and solicit other quotes for the wood portion, which I would be pessimistic that would bring $60,000 of savings, but it could potentially be a 5-figure savings if you can find that person. And it's odd to tell a group like you that your project is unappealing, and that's probably not factual, but it's a unique project, and given that generally the construction world is busy, that a little bit of the reason I think it was difficult to find. It requires a higher level of expertise to forget some of this leveling and everything, yet it's a pretty small project in the whole context. So just a little bit of an odd, I think, is why we struggled. But again, if you chose to table your decision and move forward, again, we would work with Steinberger to try to get some additional quotes and just make sure that we're getting the best price available. As far as scaling back the design, if you're familiar with what's on the drawing, we are not touching the roof, we are not touching the foundations, we are not touching the slab. So we're really doing nothing aesthetic. I think how it's designed is pretty tasteful. That general observer, when the new columns are in, which are actually going to be steel instead of wood, and it's painted green, I think from the road and outside the pavilion, you won't even know a difference. So I think that's done well. Inside, though, you will obviously notice some new structure, and Jan and I have talked in the future, possibly a ceiling goes in or some bird netting or something that would kind of cosmetically obscure the reinforcement. But I feel like other than sort of scaling back the project to only reinforce half the pavilion or something to that nature might be the only thing that could make a measurable drop in the construction cost. Then I'm not sure what you do with the remaining half. to, starting to demolish it would incur costs there. So I don't know. I really feel like the best step, if concerned with the quote that's in hand, is to allow a few more weeks to try to solicit some other subcontractor numbers for the wood portion. Now, again, that would be essentially rejecting a bid from a local contractor, and so I don't know if there's concern about that, but.
Well, and Jan and I talked this afternoon, and we have the extra money to cover that. I don't want to wait for Steinberger to go out and find more quotes. It'd be different if we were talking, another $200,000-300,000. But we have in our budget enough to cover that, plus maybe even looking into fixing some of the concrete as we go along. But I don't want, in my opinion, I don't want to wait. I want to get this started. I want to get this pavilion shored up so the community can use it. And then we can move forward as a Parks Board, along with anybody interested in the community who wants to help fundraise, if they want to get it back to landmark looking pavilion, which we all know is going to take a lot of money. But our main goal is to get it shored up. We don't want any of it to be tore down or fall down. We want to get it shored up, so I don't want to wait for Steinberger to try to find somebody else to maybe save us $5,000. To me, that's just, we're just wasting time. My thoughts, Mike?
My experience with this kind of stuff is that using a local contractor, they care a little bit more. So when I talked to Matt Llewellyn a while back when we first started this thing and said, if we get you this money, could this thing be not just shored up, but could it be usable for the next 10 years, 15 years? I think everybody involved is saying that when they do this work, this is not like just we're going to patch it up and then come back a year from now and do something. This is really going to make it so this thing probably, if we do annual just general maintenance, I think this is going to last a while. So I think that's probably, I have no problem with either one of those companies, and I believe that they're going to care. They're going to care more on the prices. When we first started this thing, and there was discussion of historical stuff, the HPC, Heritage Preservation Commission came in. They were very clear about they want to make sure it's still here,
Right.
and not necessarily that it's
Yep.
using old-time timbers or whatever. So I think that they were looking at use. I know we had a few people that were kind of like, it needed all old materials and that kind of stuff, and that doesn't make much sense in this case. But
Right.
and it looks like as if I had sent a note to Dave Morris this afternoon asking about the when the money came through. Apparently, they did add money to the budget for this year also. So we really now have enough money to afford the $160,000.
Absolutely.
And potentially, like I said, we need to work with the council and see if there's anything to say. And I think there's a few things. Obviously, not touching the slab and stuff like that. We're going to have the same issues kind of being there. But I believe what they're talking about is taking these steel posts, which they're going to jack the roof up and basically support the roof system. So I think your slab can heave and stuff like that and not affect. In the old days,
Right.
the slab affected the roof.
Right.
Now I think we can basically get the roof in place. It's going to have a slab, and it's not in terrible shape, and there are some dips and stuff like that. But I think what they're talking about doing is really supporting that structure off of the post, and then jacking it all up, and that would be there. And then I think I noticed there are a few small things like dumpsters and porta potties and that kind of stuff. They'll be on top of that 160. And then they say something they might run into, we don't know now. But down the road, you also don't know. I'd say we'd work with the city council because there's a little extra money there than what we need to have for this. But you don't know when you jack that roof up what happens to those shingles and things like that. So we probably shouldn't give that money back yet, but work with them to say, okay, here's the situation. I think that it would be nice. The input we had as a council or as a board. from some people, oh, my daughter had her wedding down there, and that kind of stuff. If that's the case, then let's get back to that level again. There's only one light under that whole thing.
Additional
So I think
lighting.
you could spend a little bit of money to put electricity in there to have some lights. A ceiling would be nice.
Yeah.
Because with birds and stuff, they sit up on those rafters and they put their droppings down on the tables. So if they really do intend to have people use the gazebo as a wedding place and then as a reception place, having lights would be nice, having a ceiling would be nice. So we might see what those add-ons would be. But again, I think the main thing is that we've got that the money is covered from what the city council's budget was for this year. So.
Just to echo what Mike said, yeah, I guess there's been talk originally about shoring up or kind of a Band-Aid approach. I assure you, what is designed and quoted from a structure standpoint is definitely a 20, 30-year fix, we feel like, with the caveat that at some point the roof will need to be addressed, and we wouldn't want that lumber getting wet.
Sure,
So yeah, from our standpoint, with what's done, the next three things we would see would be obviously roof, slab, and then electricity. There is electricity there, but additional lighting, I think, would be your next steps to really, and a ceiling, I guess, if you wanted to say a fourth. But
Right.
yeah, so the structure is not just a temporary shoring; it's a permanent restabilization of the structure. So, but at some point, the roof will need redone to make sure we keep the lumber dry.
Yeah, and Jen and I had talked about that today too, that, the roof is gonna have to, it's been,
It's probably been 10 years or better.
yeah.
'Cause
So,
it was like maybe 2010 when we last did that roof. I remember Chris Gwynn did it.
God, he hasn't, yeah, that's been a while then, because they haven't done any roofing in a long time.
See, it's good to have a historical reference.
And again, like you said, we don't know what's gonna happen once they start,
Right.
so.
Yeah. And I say what this he's mentioning, if this steel post, keep it up, going down the roads at some point, then trying to change that foundation, or the slab,
Yes.
is much easier.
So you don't have to, once you put all those in, then the slab.
The slab is independent of the foundation, so yes, that could be removed and replaced or leveled. I mean, there are methods, if you've heard of slab jacking or mud jacking, they actually use polyurethane now instead of cement. So there are companies who could potentially level the slab there at a little bit lower cost. But that could all be done and not impact any of this work.
And like I told Jan today when we were talking on the phone, Steinberger does concrete finishing as well.
Correct.
We also have a very good company here in town, Merle Alvin and Associates, that does a lot of concrete work. So if we get to that point, we have local companies who we can fall back on to take care of that for us. And, I think it's important that we keep the work locally for two reasons. It's money in our community. Plus, as Mike said, these guys are going to take more pride in it because they live here. And they're going to want to make sure that nothing happens to it. So,
These extras you're talking about, there is no concrete work in the project now, no roofing work, no electrical work. So there's not really an incentive to, hey, we could buy it cheaper because they're already doing those things could all
sure.
be separate.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, we know it'd all be separate. So, Eamon?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. We gotta get it done. We gotta get it done if it's in the budget, then.
What kind of time frame were you talking about that?
So there is some work that could be done, potentially we had talked about as early as January or February. I think in earnest, things would start in March, and we were targeting hopefully a May completion. Even April, trying to really hit it so you guys can maximize the summer season.
That's what, I really feel like we need to.
There's not really from a weather standpoint anything that will preclude things from getting started. So it'd just be getting material and things scheduled. So, and nothing, I was talking to Steinberger, nothing here's a exceptional lead time. It's
I think-
readily available materials.
I think you guys can approve this, but we do have to do a new contract that adds that $60,000 to the mix,
Yeah.
and so, with the Board of Work,
I can
so,
get that to you, but yeah,
Yeah.
we in principle.
yeah.
Jason, you got any comments?
No, I agree with you, Dave. I think it's best to go ahead and move on it now. I think if we wait a month or two, then that pushes the whole timeline out of whack, and now we're into June or July before it could be done, and I would just as soon push forward with what we have. As long, if we've got the money to cover it, then I think it's the right thing to do and start the project.
Okay. Sam?
Yeah, I agree. Just putting it off is only going to cost more money, so you might as well get on it. You got the estimate now. I'd say go with it.
Okay, so we need to make a motion to increase the proposal to $160,000, right?
Go along with this, accept this proposal.
Okay, so to accept this proposal, I need to have a motion to amend the cost to $160,000.
So move.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Done.
Okay.
Let's say one last thing, if I could, for the record. I just saw some stuff on social media today about how the Parks Board was wanting to tear it down, and some folks got some city council members to show up here, and that's why we didn't tear it down, was because of the work they did. We never wanted to tear it down. When we first started talking about it, the folks wanted to have, the historical folks wanted to have a $500,000 or more building with all old beams and stuff, and people would come from New York to see how beautiful it was and all this kind of stuff. That was never our intention. Safety was our first intention, and then to get it so it could be used again was our second intention. And once we had the meeting with the HBC, they kind of said, we are in favor of, it being usable. And so that was good, and that's what happened. So, some people are talking like as if, but we are glad that, yes, the city council people here tonight, because, things happen when they're here. So anyway, I just want to make the record clear that, the people here, there's some people that took some static that we were a bunch of, whatevers, because we were not keeping this historical thing historical and blah, blah, blah. We're a Parks Board. Our intention is to serve the public, whether it be through recreation or through, buildings and stuff like that. So our intention is never to, whatever. But anyway, I just want to make that straight, that it's on social media out there now that, again, because of them, then everything is perfect, and, because of us.
Well, and let me also say that my intention always was to get through the master plan and hear what people wanted within the master plan, in the surveys we received, and we did. That's mine. I was getting a call coming in.
Oh.
And everybody got ahead of me before we did the survey. So, it kind of exploded before I was actually able to hear what people had to say. So, and people were, for the most part, they wanted the facility saved, but mostly they wanted that facility workable and there for all of us. So that's our goal. And so I don't think, we're there, we're getting there. So anyway, I'm up for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming up here for us, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. All right, moving on to new business.
We brought up the last meeting in management's comments about the free use of facilities and a policy, an application. And Kelly and I have been working on that. Behind your information on the pavilion, we have what we're proposing. And we're talking about, 501c3 nonprofits is who we're talking about. We want that to be submitted no later than 60 days in advance. That way we have time to get it to you to approve it. We should have a certificate of liability insurance that names the city of Logansport as an additional insured party, partly because if we're giving it to you for free, then we don't have, within the rental, let me say this right. Within the rental process, insurance covers the rental when it's paid. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But if it's not paid, we're giving it to you for free, then
It's on us.
insurance may not cover it.
Right.
I think it will, but
Yeah.
anyway, so that's why we're saying that there should be a certificate of liability insurance. A damage cleaning deposit will be required, so the deposit that we already asked for will be required. That's not any different. And the rental attendant that checks you out, especially at McHale or Penman, they'll make sure that certified the conditions are met. And they're at the last page of this gives you a damage deposit checklist. So it's clear what you have to do to get your deposit back. And then I guess the other thing about the free use is that we want to be recognized as a sponsor of the event or of the organization. So we are asking that you do recognize us as a sponsor, that we are included in whatever recognitions or promotions, advertisements you are promoting your event. They may use the LPRD logo, and we'll provide that digital version. And if they do a biographical or narrative of something about their sponsors, then this is the information that they want to use. And then once they've had their rental, if it didn't meet all of our conditions, they will not get a free use in the future. We asked for, in the application, we asked for, why do you feel like you deserve a free rental? How your organization's goals can meet with us. And then they sign it, and then it comes to the park board for that, to that next meeting. So, how's that sound? Is that what we're want? Is that the direction we want to go?
I would say on the item 4 for the certificate of insurance, we might want to talk to Consolidated Union or somebody about they really going to have like an event insurance or whatever. And they might not, most 501Cs probably don't have a specific insurance for an event like that. So,
Yeah.
from my old days in ballparks, you got people that get hurt on your bleachers and that kind of stuff. And you used to have to make sure that the people came and rented the park had that. So you might want to have something pre-arranged with Consolidated. Say, do you have a policy for people to get? Because they're going to walk in and want to have this approved. We're going to say I have a certificate of insurance. And you say, oh yeah, we'll probably get that. We ran that in the past where some of the stuff that went downtown or down there, and they assumed the parks would just take care of the liability, and they were bussing people around town, stuff like that. So I think we probably should talk to, I think it's a good idea. We ought to probably talk to Consolidated and say, because I know that like the people, I can't think of the name of the company in Fort Wayne, but there's a insurance company that deals with just ballparks and that kind of stuff, and they've got like K&K insurance. That's exactly who it is.
Yeah.
And they are in that business to sell event insurance.
Event insurance, yeah.
And
Well,
I say,
I'm thinking Jim Kitchell Agency
Jim
does.
Kitchell does,
does
because
that.
that's where the
Yeah.
Cal Ripken League and the Babe Ruth League get their insurance.
Yeah.
It's the same as buying it from K&K.
Yeah.
I think it probably depends on, if you're having like a running event and that's the ending spot is different than if somebody's having a birthday party there or whatever or something.
Right.
But just as something to stress to me. We'll learn a lot when we start to do this. And I'm not against, I also think it'd be nice with these groups to say something about, any contribution you would make would be appreciated and used for future maintenance of the facility or whatever. I think sometimes you've got groups that, Kiwanis, those kind of people that, they're a nonprofit. But I think some people think, I pay my taxes, and so, parks should be wonderful and all. We know that the reality of just how hard it is for us to maintain the facilities. That it doesn't hurt to say, I guess they may come to you and say, I want it for free, but it wouldn't hurt to say, we will obviously.
They don't even thank us. Most of them don't even thank us. So, maybe they just think I think people think that electricity is free to us as well, electricity and water.
Right.
And I don't think they get it, but we're paying for it just like everybody else. So, anyway. Well, I can talk to our own. I have not talked to our own insurance people about it, and I can find out if maybe
It's
I can
especially
just have
insurance. It's
a
like-
rider or something that
Yeah, I mean-
says, you know, that it makes sure that
There
you're
used to be,
covered.
in my experience with the AIM fields, people would have insurance that covered their players on their ball team, but they didn't cover the brother and sister that fell off the bleachers.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff there that's, I think it's called a good
Yeah, so
insurance.
let's push this back to next month and talk to the insurance company and
Okay.
see where
And
we
they can
need
give
to
us some
go.
advice too. They may also say the parks is blanketed,
Yeah.
you know, the city of Logansport, it's not a big deal. I mean, it may be
Yeah,
that big
but
too.
I just soon
I'd rather
find
know.
out and get
Yeah,
that in
yeah,
here
sure.
before we put it out.
Okay.
So we'll push it back a month until we talk to the insurance company and get clarification. Okay.
Good. Jason, I know you gotta go, don't you? Jason, have you already hung up?
Is he hung up?
Oh, you already hung up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had his game started at 6 o'clock or something. so.
You still with us, Sam?
I'm still here.
Okay, just checking. Administrators Management Report, Sam?
Well, it's been a busy month, year. I have not completed my annual report yet. My goal is to have it done for tonight, but it just didn't happen, so, anyway, I will have it done for next week's, State of the City, event. We've already discussed the lower shelter at Spencer Park. There isn't anything new about that. Christmas in the park, we had, let me see if I can find it, we had 6,801 vehicles drive through the park,
Wow.
which is a record.
What did
We've
we
never
have
had
last-
that many
What did
people.
we have last year?
3,900.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
It really went up a lot, so. We had a great turnout from the public. They really enjoyed it. Our high night was the 23rd of December with 422 cars. I must not have been there that night. Were you there? That was 2 nights before Christmas. So not Christmas Eve, but the night before Christmas Eve. So that Saturday night. So anyway, every time I went through, there was either a row of cars in front of me or behind me. So it was a pretty well-attended thing. Kevin and I discussed 2024, of course. You always sit back and think about things. And so we're going to start working on getting some donors to do the 12 Days of Christmas. And that's 12 different displays that, and we're also working on some tractor sales. And, but our goal is to have the whole entire park, the circle, completely.
So I have a question. The new, man, I don't know what you call it, the new hanging thing the kids climb on. Is that made of material that there could be lights put around that?
Yes, please.
Yes, come on up.
Just so everybody can hear.
Yes, sir.
But yes, the climber that is out there is a synthetic polymer. It could have lights on it.
Okay.
The only problem with it is we would have to make sure that unit couldn't be accessed by anybody for the season. Just because of electrical shock or anything like that, you know, if we were to decorate it like a big Christmas tree, we would have to barricade it off and ask the public very nicely to, you know, respect it during that time.
Yeah,
So there is a little bit of logistics there to have that happen, but yes, it could
I just
feasibly,
think as you drive down High Street
it could be a very prominent feature.
and I
Absolutely.
look at that and I go, wow, if we could put lights on that, that would really be cool. And, but I
We
didn't
have
know.
found, I mean, this last December was still very warm, so that was still being used pretty heavily. So, I mean, it is possible. It's just getting the word out there, getting the press releases out there. If we could make that happen, yes, absolutely. So,
Okay. All right.
yes.
All right.
I've had probably more compliments this year than I've ever heard before. I mean,
Yep.
it was beautiful. I mean, we had a lot more trees that were fully.
Correct, yeah.
And
We
it
had a lot more.
And
More
looking to
depth.
drive by. And I had, since you mentioned that, I had a lot of people saying to me, gee, I wish we could have the full park usage all the way around. I said, well, we did. I remember back in the first years, and, you know, it was so spread out, it wasn't as neat. And now when you come in the way you do, it's quite a show as you go down that path. And if we can do 12 days of Christmas or whatever, but it's funny because people on one hand were saying, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Then they would come back and say, but I sure wish we could go all the way around.
Well, and we do too, and you know, you have to remember that those first couple of years, it was $70,000 to operate that, with all the leases and things like that. So that's why we're going to do this with one big thing, that we're going to try and do this as a lease over the course of 3 years, sell each one of those displays at $500 per year. I think that's doable to more businesses than than anything else we've done, really. And I just really feel confident that we'll be able to do that. So Kevin's got some other stuff to fill it in. And I got to tell you, I'll tell you about it later. But I got a lot of new ideas too, and so we're excited about this option, and we're gonna start selling them now. So anybody out there that wants to do that, just let us know. We're ready to start talking about it.
Thanks to you and your staff, Kevin, because
absolutely.
This is like when people having a heart of a teacher. This kind of park stuff, to do that, I mean, you could just let it be the same every year. I mean, just, like I say, and I saw those trees that were just full lit. I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So I just want to thank you and your staff, and I say, I mean, just everybody. I mean, I know you have so few hands to do this, but I think it's something proud for Logansport, and it continues to get better every single year. So thank you.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yeah.
Come to the microphone.
City Council, Ward 5. How many of the displays are owned by the Parks Department and/or Logansport?
Owned by us, we own everything now but the Red Line equipment, right? Red Line equipment is a lease that they are doing over the course of 3 years. So and then the individual lights, the rows of the string of lights that do the actual tree wraps and the lamp posts on Broadway and the other trees that we've. But anyway, those strings of lights are leased as well. So, and that's the reason for the cost, is because of those lights and getting those things wrapped, and because we pay for this company to do the wraps.
Does each display have a local business sponsor?
For the most part, yep. We put everybody that over $500. And even in some cases, we had them under that a little bit. We got new light boxes, yeah, with their logo close to it. So we got like 24 of them out now. 26 light boxes.
And there's some of those that their names are people that actually donated for the whole. I think like Cole Hardwood did that manger scene or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, so there's some that are actually,
and the Community
it's associated,
Foundation.
that they bought the whole light display,
Yeah.
and their name is always on there.
Yeah, and Community Foundation did the entrance and the exit, and then the gift boxes. And Logansport Savings has done 2 displays, the dancing deer and the Santa that shoots hoops. Security Federal did the Iwo Jima display. Central Paving did the truck pulling Santa.
I'm just wondering if it was more profitable if we owned everything, the Parks Department owned everything. And you say go all the way around. You have plans to buy more displays?
Well, that's what the lease thing is going to be. It's easier for us to at least to own over the course of 3 years, and that's what we're hoping to do with the 12 Days of Christmas, is lease those for 3 years and have each company pay $500, and at that point, then we can do the, we'll have that forever, once we pay it off after 3 years, yeah. Yeah.
How are the utilities per year? Does that spike up your meter?
Oh, it probably runs about 300 to 400 for each month.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Time it's on and.
Kevin switched it all over to LEDs, so, it really, and The other thing that's really saved us money is he set it up so that it's on a photoelectric, so it doesn't turn on and off in the cold or, so, because we found that was one of the things that it broke down more often, or fuses were blown when they kept going on and off in the cold weather. So he's got them set up so they come on in the late part of the day and then off in the early part of the morning. So that helps us too. So.
And it's nice that we've done, the original years when they first started it, the idea is, lease everything because then it could be brand new every year.
Yeah.
Kids love the lights. I mean, it's not like they're going, hey, wasn't that the same thing as last year? And I think so we've kind of, lease to own was a smarter way. When we first started, it was like, because we didn't have hardly anything. But it was all leased, and then they were like saying, wait, every year you can have something different.
If you move it to a different spot, then
Right.
everybody thinks it's new when they drive through anyway,
Yeah.
because it's not the same spot it was in last year.
Yeah, so I think it's,
Thank you so much. Good idea, Dave, on the kids climbing to put lights on.
Yep, I think that'd be cool.
Thank you so much, guys.
Guys,
Yep.
we got to remember our playground specifications or safety things. We really have to pay attention to that.
I just,
Because you can't count on kids
No.
to behave themselves.
just mentioning, okay, going. Where are you now?
Okay, master plan update, youth survey. We need to sit down and go through the youth survey. I think you wanted to have a meeting with whoever was interested.
Yeah, I want,
In our board.
I want as many people on the board that want to be involved, Kara and you. I've went through it. I've, highlighted the top 10 of each category of what kids do, what kids want to have to do in the parks. So I think we need to sit down and discuss it and see what we can do moving forward to help this out. And I think the thing that got me the most out of the youth survey was that 60-70% of our kids do nothing but sit in their room and play video games. So we got to see if we can find a way to, and maybe that's because their parents aren't home and they can't go anywhere. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that I have a grandson that falls in that 60% category, and that's not the case for him. But, but we need to figure out what we can attack and what we can actually do. One of the ones was they just want to go someplace during the summer and just put soccer goals out and play soccer without any league affiliation or anything like that. They just want to go and play soccer, and play. They want to play. They want to have basketball teams, but they don't want to belong to a league. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that maybe some of their parents can't afford the money to put them in a league, or maybe they can't get them to the Y or to the high school to where basketball would be played, up to the high school for soccer. I think one of the responses was we want to play a sport that there's just no rules. I thought that was interesting. But we need to sit down and go through that youth survey. I think it's important that we make a concerted effort to pick some of that and see if we can put it in place so we can make the youth of this community feel like we're listening to them and we're trying to give them some of the things that they want. So we'll get together sometime this month and do that. So,
Okay, I'll send out an email to everybody and see if we can't find some time
All right.
at the meeting teams. Probably need a couple hours
hour. Yeah.
on us. Couple hours, okay.
Couple hours.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to do a quick report
Hang on
on,
a second. And if anybody on the city council would like to sit in, you're welcome. So we'll make that known. we want to have as many voices as we can have, so, okay, now go on.
Okay, well, I just wanted to just do a quick review of the end of the year's budget for 2023. We really came out in pretty good shape. We had $40,000 left in the parks budget. Pool budget had a little bit left, maybe not quite as much as what normally, $3,800 left over. I was really impressed, if you'll notice that we spent almost a little bit more, just like $672 more than what we took in the non-reverting operating fund. And that's really good. That's really good. Our current balance there with the non-reverting operating fund is 59,000. So, I mean, we have enough to work with in the future, and so we're in pretty good shape there. And Dean's is off the charts in the golf course, and our current balance is going to take care of us for the next 4 or 5 months, easy peasy. So,
Okay.
Anyway. Good. I'm really pleased with our 2024 budget. And it didn't seem like we were going to make it, but we did somehow.
Well, you never know,
For
so.
2023 budget. And then I just kind of want a quick review of some of the stuff we're going to do in '24. We do have enough funds to get some extra help for summer programming. Kara's going to do Valentine's Day, Daddy-Daughter Dance, the Nerf War, Breakfast with Santa. I think we're going to expand Park in a Box a little bit. Summer Sundown Music Series is going to happen this year, as it has been. I think Kelly would be happy to say that we are moving from Pepsi to Coke this year. Pepsi has been a very poor partner this last year, and so it's time to make a change. We do expect to finish the master plan. I want to have a formal presentation of our final results here in February. Might have to have an extra meeting, but then I need to have a presentation, a public presentation of the master plan with the consultants, so that the council can hear it all, and then it can be approved by ordinance at the April council meeting. So they have to hear it, all the details prior to that meeting. So we will be doing that in March. Facility work that's going to happen. Kevin's got a whole list of stuff. The Fairview Pavilion, getting those electric to those. Finishing the Dykeman Pavilion. They painted it, but got some other work a little bit to do. Needs to get more gutters in the shop. Shelters, 3 at Spencer Park and 1 at Bishop. The lower pavilion, of course. Build the Dykeman restroom. Rehab the Fairview restrooms. Replace the Penman roof. The Mulehausen playground will get built here sometime, I hope this spring. And then restore the Bishop basketball court so that it's a nice basketball court. So Kevin is getting a pickup truck hopefully in the next couple weeks. We hope to find a 1-ton dump truck, a new mower, a new gator that we've actually already got going here. He should have that in the next week or two. A mowing attachment for the big fields that need mowing, so it'll be attachment to the tractor. A pull behind for the tractor. And signage, we got some money for signage, more security cameras, and picnic tables. When I say picnic tables, I'm talking about some of the ones with the runners on the bottom that we can move around in the grass and things like that. We haven't bought picnic tables for a number of years, maybe a good 20 years. The ones we have right now are in fairly good shape, but we've lost a few over the years. So these will be the recycled lumber and the steel, galvanized steel runners on them. So they're really heavy duty and will last 20 years. So anyway, that's our 24 budget.
Good.
Any questions?
Nope.
I'm sure you guys will come up with more for me in the future.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Kara, come on up.
Hi,
Hi there.
how's everybody doing?
Wonderful. You?
I'm doing good. I have a lot more energy than I did before I left work.
Ah.
The gray days are not good for my personality. But I had some espresso, so. I wanted to talk a little bit what you guys were talking about, the 5-year master plan, and I know we'll talk about it more, but the youth survey, I'm just going to come at it from a mom perspective, having 3 kids. The kids are so busy. Lily hardly has free time because if they want to go to college and they want to get scholarships, they got to work their tushies off. And then Lily's in 4-H and FFA, so that's really just a couple things. She's not in swim, she's not in choir or band this year. And so I think part of the reasons that some of the kids are just chilling at home is because they're so busy. And then you are going to have your kids who obviously, like you said, maybe they can't go out because their parents are both working or whatever. But I definitely look forward to having that conversation, hearing other people's opinions, because youth and seniors are an area where we feel like we're missing the mark, and we are hoping to do more for them this year. I am working with Stand Up Cass County, and they have put together 3 different events that are free for youth. So each month there are 3. One is tonight at Mary Mac's. It's a gaming night. There's a Black Dog game night, like board games. And then there's also where's the other one? A free roller skating night. So if any of you have youth 13 to 18, these are all free events. And so I will go and volunteer as much as I can. But my biggest thing that I can do is talk about it a lot. December was a very, very busy month for us. And it ended with some time off, which was wonderful. And so we had our breakfast with Santa. I decorated McHale early so that the rentals, whoever rented McHale, could enjoy those decorations. I love decorating, so it was a blast. Crystal Miller, she came and helped me, and so we're acquiring more trees every year. We also had gingerbread house competition. That was an event that was really a ton of fun, but did not have a big turnout, and so we have decided not to do it again next year. Looking back, we could have probably hosted it a week earlier. I feel like it was just too close to Christmas. People have family coming in, and it's a little too busy. And so now I'm just planning for 2024. I'm getting my contracts prepared. I'm honestly looking for musicians for 4th of July. I'm going to start looking for vendors for 4th of July, and then lining people up for daddy-daughter dance. I mean, like, we do everything so far out. So it's kind of a lot, but I took my first week back from work and I made all my lists all over the place. So pretty excited.
Good.
So.
Got her work cut out for her.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara.
Thank you. Dean, come on up.
Dr. Kevin.
No, I'm saving Kevin for last.
Oh.
Kevin's already been up here once tonight. We'll save him for last. Dean is sitting back there anxiously waiting to talk about his good year at the golf course.
Yeah, we had after 30-plus years, you see good years and bad years, and a lot of times it has just to do with weather. And this year we had a little bit of all the stars aligning. The weather was good from early on. The spring was good. The summer wasn't too hot, wasn't too dry. It was pretty dry at times. So that helped play out and everything. And then at the end of the year, sold 2024 passes for 2023 pricing, which probably brought in about $50,000. So that's a nice little bump. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get everyone to do that again next year to about 2024 numbers. But it
Absolutely.
does, like Dan said, it gives us a nice little start. You know, if we do have a slow spring or something, we have,
Yep.
we have money already there. So our budget was very workable. I mean, we brought in more money, but we also spent more money than we ever have to. You know, just like a lot of places, just it wasn't necessarily on the equipment; it's just on everyday things. But the first thing on the agenda here was the approval for. We've had 2 retirees this past 5 months, from August on. So Hyatt has recently retired after 25 years in the last, what was it, 4 or 5 years as my assistant, I believe.
Oh, just 2 or 3.
2 or 3, yeah. It seems, well, I think I was using him as assistant before that, you know, before he was an official title. So John Clark, who has been with us now since 2016, was part-time, and it's kind of part-time, full-time there for quite a while, working, you know, 30-plus hours a week as part-time. And then in 2021, we moved him into a full-time position. John comes with a lot of different skills that helps us out and is what we need, and is a good fit for, you know, for me.
Okay, good.
Do that, and the also we're retaking Matt Franklin back from the Parks Department. Matt originally worked for us part-time back.
Part-time, yeah.
Geez, 10 years ago, or longer than that, because I think he's been with the Parks for 10 plus years at the Parks, or right around there. So Matt, you know, as a golfer, that's a nice bump that I know very well, and as you know, the first 2 weeks up there has been fits right in. So.
Good.
Well, and Matt even did volunteer work for you this last couple of years.
Oh yeah, Matt's
Come
always
in on
helped out
Sunday
anytime.
mornings and-
Matt knows a lot of stuff about the golf course, so
Yeah,
anytime
so he's-
I've need a little help with something, he's always been.
Yeah, I've seen him out there on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's a good move.
It's a good fit, and with losing the couple people that we have, so it definitely helped. And as you can see,
So you
playing
need to
mechanic
approve
these-
those changes formally.
So do we have a motion to approve those changes in the Dykeman, on the Dykeman staff?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Yeah, we pretty much talked about end-of-year statistics already, but the one thing about the clubhouse, since our last meeting, we got a nice little bump from a matching grant, or matching funds for any money that we got in. I'll let a lot of you guys know the next $250,000 is going to be matched. So that basically kind of jump-started everything again a little bit. And I think from the matching part, we're at about a little over 100,000, correct, officially?
Officially, yeah, but we
We
think
got
we probably got
another-
another,
Well, and I got another one tonight, too.
oh, okay, good.
We're probably well north of 150 on that, probably, of the matching, but of 2 more potentials, which will leave us only one of our 18-hole signs left. So we'll have only one T marker left to be sponsored. So we're pretty excited about that. It's worked out at the 25,000, so it's good. And I mean, and a lot of stuff moving. I mean, this year's going to be a big year. I mean, we get cart paths, maintenance barn extension, or
Well, when are they going to do the cart pass? I was just getting ready to ask.
fall I've not talked to Brandstatter since last year, but at the time we talked last year even, he said fall would be the best time because
Okay.
the driest. And when he says fall, that's probably August, September.
Sure,
sometime in there.
sure.
That's when it's driest up there.
It is, and this year would have been perfect to do because it was bone dry at that
It
point.
needs to be,
You know?
Yeah.
it needs to be
Absolutely.
dry to handle the heavy equipment.
Well, and we have irrigation lines that,
Oh, you're
I know
absolutely right.
we did it last time, we busted irrigation lines by having, trucks drive across stuff. So, that's,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's about it. A lot of stuff going on there.
All right, thank you.
One thing I want to say too is Dean is attending, what conference is it?
Oh, the Golf Course Superintendents Association Conference in Phoenix.
And in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's a week-long, or 5 days, here at the end of January, early February. So
Yeah, I've been a member almost 30 years, I've never attended, but with everything that we have going on right now, it's just, the timing kind of works, as we got a.
Like they couldn't, just like, if it was up in North Dakota or South Dakota when it was minus 40 in January, would you go?
Probably not, no, yeah, no, but, you know, the odd thing is, I mean,
south and it's in Arizona.
it's Monday through Thursday, and I fly out Sunday night, and, no, I'm not taking my golf clubs or anything. So, although that, I wish I could
No, but he
go back and, make a little different travel plans and
got
take
this
them.
all approved. We had this approved in the budget for this year.
And it's just, like I said, the timing of it with, I mean, we have,
That in there.
you know, equipment that we're purchasing.
Absolutely.
Or, I mean,
Sure.
the whole sign.
No, absolutely.
There's so much different stuff,
Yep.
possibly even a driving range.
Yep. Great job this year.
All right, thank you, guys.
From his numbers, they're up 27.6% in income, so
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive in an inflationary year. People worry about gas and food and stuff like that to actually,
It was, you know,
Yeah.
it was,
it's pretty
you never
impressive.
know how it's gonna be, but golf is definitely doing good. And
Yep.
I really do, I've said it from the beginning, or most of the year, with the addition of Kyle Smith helping with the,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
social media and stuff like
And
that,
I-
we got our name out there more.
And
And that really, you know,
and being able to schedule your tee times online.
yeah.
That helped.
The website and everything, I think.
Oh,
it's-
absolutely.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, it is, I mean, it's a combination of everything
Absolutely.
that helped.
Yeah.
Makes that a whole lot easier. All right, Kevin, come on back up.
Evening again.
Uh-huh.
I'll keep mine really short. Dean went too long. Just kidding. Just kidding. Again, we had another really eventful year. It was fantastic. Some people retired. Some went up to the golf course. So all good. We're trucking right along. December, pretty busy for us. Keeping Christmas Park going is one of those big things. And yeah, I was out there that night, and it was just a
It
line
was
of
a
people.
constant lineup. It had to be,
Constant.
yeah.
So I'm going to touch base real quick again with Christmas in the Park because, again, it's one of our biggest events during December. So there is one more little caveat I want to point out is we were able to partner with the high school students this year, and they created a couple displays for us. So Christine Lindsay and Bob Isles, those people up there really challenged their students to build some displays. You know, we kind of said, hey, this is kind of what we want. We sat down with them and we said, this is what we kind of want to look for. And their work is fantastic. And I believe just the excitement of them doing that is going to really lead to bigger and better displays that we're not having to go out and spend
Awesome.
thousands of dollars. We'll have community involvement from our kids that, again, it puts it back into, we built this here. This
that's
is something.
awesome.
So we're going down that avenue. So we're going to start seeing some bigger and better things out of them. We're going to continue working with them. And another great and horrible problem to have is we're out of storage up at Spencer. As we continue to grow and as we continue to get more pieces, it's a fantastic problem to have, but we're right at that point where we're going to be looking at what's our next step for a pole barn or something to continue growing this so it becomes bigger and better every year. So
Oh, absolutely.
it's a terrible problem to have that we're outgrowing what we have there. So
Yep,
that's something that
absolutely.
we're going to be working forward in the future, building a new pole barn out there to facilitate this. So again, our numbers were great. The weather was fantastic for us this year. just a couple small fixes, nothing terrible, a couple little fires here and there, but nothing terrible. We were able to keep it going through the year successfully. Had great weather taking it down. We were able to wrap it up within
You had it down in 3 days.
I was gonna say, it didn't take you very long.
cleaned up in 4. I hope it continues that way every year.
You're asking a lot for Indiana weather.
Yeah. So it's just exciting to see. And again, I heard from so many people that it was a fantastic year and they really enjoyed it. And at the same time, like, why can't you do the whole park?
Yeah.
Well,
It's very weird, isn't it?
yeah, you did a great job, but let's do more. So, okay, let's do more. So, again, on record, thank you for all the community involvement, all the sponsors. If anybody out there hears it, I mean, just thank you so much for making another possible year out Christmas Park. Exciting times. We have a lot of things coming up. Of course, the Bark Park is well into formation. You know, we got all the old fence out, we got the old dugouts out, we got the electric lines, and we got the old water lines, and we got ground leveled out to an extent. So we still have a little bit of dirt work there to do. All of our fence has been put together. I'm waiting to see what that's. Chris is working on it. Chris Pine's working on it. So I should be seeing those numbers here pretty soon. Meeting with Total Fence to see about helping with the installation of it. Grass has been ordered. It should be getting seeded in January for a early seed. So when springtime comes, we should see that new RTF popping up in there. Make it nice and pretty for the ribbon cutting. So Louthan did a fantastic job. Bob Louthan did a fantastic job on the ADA ramp and the concrete work up there. So we're ready to, I mean, literally it's getting down to the fence and grass. You know, we're gonna start seeing some really good.
We started getting signs too, didn't
We
we?
got our signage, a little bit of our signage today for the Bark Park, our logos and some rules and stuff like that. So we're starting to see those things come in. So we should see some pretty good movement over the winter time here. Our shade sale that's going up there has arrived. It's sitting at the shop. So once the weather breaks, I can start pouring some concrete. We'll see that go up. Yeah, we'll
Turkey
start
fountains
seeing,
are here too.
yeah, so we'll start seeing some movement in the winter time for spring, along with the kitchenette at the Penman, along with redoing the floor at McHale, along with the snow removal, of course, and the new playground up there. Just to name a few projects that we're going to be hitting out pretty early. So it'll be an exciting time for us, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a really good year.
Good.
I feel that we're going to have a really successful year. I have a candidate in line, hopefully, for mass position. We're doing the preliminary background checks and everything on, but I believe once that comes to pass, he'll be a very, very good fit with our Parks Department, bringing a lot of new skills that only a couple have. So he'll be a fantastic addition if everything goes well.
Good, good.
Anything else?
Great job, Kevin.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Visitors' comments. Anybody? Nobody? Okay.
This is it.
This is it. Yes, sir?
Red Street Park, I've not seen the plans for that. Do you have any ideas for fire hydrants in there? Like
For the dogs to use to. Sorry.
I've tried to get some old non-working fire hydrants. I'm working on it, so trying to.
Board comments. Eamon?
No comment.
Mike?
Of course, I always have comments. I've got a note here. I saw a social media post today about down at Partridge's, with the Parks Department helped put up graphics. Again, it's just a night. I mean, it'd be easy to say we don't have time. I appreciate you guys finding the time to do. So there's now more artwork there on the way to the entrance to the. So look nice.
This is those beautiful bikes that Terry painted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they look
yeah.
great, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It was always the plan to get them up and it just, we
You know,
just,
it's nice that we offered to help do that, and did it. I've been in a few meetings with economic development in Riverside Park, that area, and how the intention with, you got the event center, and there's gonna be some other stuff they're talking about, and then hopefully go out into 6th Street. Something again for us to try to continue to figure out what's our place in that, and the 5-year plan as to what do we need to do to help, there's gonna be people, how do we get people that come to the event center, they come for a wedding reception, they got some time to kill, they come down the park and they do whatever. Had lots of people commenting in those meetings about need more pickleball courts and more basketball courts, and so it's never enough. And finally, I'd like to thank the city council members that are here tonight. I said, we understand that you guys provide the funding for everything we do, so we thank you for that, and it's nice when you're here that you can see some of the stuff that does go on. I am always impressed at the few number of staff that we have, how much stuff they get done and how much heart they put into anything they do, so I'm glad you can kind of see that, come and see that too, so thank you.
Sam?
Yep, just a great year of 23, it sounds like, and hopefully a prosperous 24 for the Parks Department. Be great, and Happy New Year to all, and that's it.
Hey, Sam, one thing, what was those 2 dates in June? For the,
Oh, it's actually 3 dates in June. The last 2 Sundays and the first Sunday after July 4th, I think.
so the last 2 Sundays in June and the first Sunday after the 4th, and that summer showdown
Summer Sundown.
Summer Sundown is going to be in Fairview Park. I told Jan today when she called me that, a Sunday evening over there is not a conflict as far as us playing baseball at Babe Ruth or at Cal Ripken.
Right.
But Jan has offered both leagues, if they are interested, to open their concession stands on those nights, which would be an extra fundraiser for both leagues to make a little bit of money. So you might want to reach out to your Cal Ripken board and see if they're interested in that. I've reached out to the Babe Ruth board. I'm waiting for them to hear, but I just thought it was a chance for them to make a little extra money during the year.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. As usual, thanks to Jan, Kelly, Kara, Kevin, Dean, and all the other people in the Parks Department. What a wonderful 2023 we had. None of this is possible without your guys' work. We appreciate that. I want to echo off what Mike said. It's nice to see city council members here. There were times in the last few months where we felt like we were on an island all by ourselves, and people were shooting Halisters at us with live cannonballs. We're here to work with the city council. We're here to work with anybody as far as it comes to the Parks Board, and I really appreciate seeing city council members here at our meetings. I think that's a very good thing to see for people who do come in, that we can all work together, and I appreciate you guys being here. With that being said, we are adjourned at 6:44. Hey, are you sunburned yet?